Hi there, you're on Gossip Says channel. Enjoy watching, subscribe and like it. It's growing our community. My boyfriend is a serial cheater. He cheats on me with rude fat men he finds on the internet. Buckle up. This is a long, bumpy ride. I 27 Fahrenheit met my BF 34 plank mass in 2018. We both were living with our exes that we had been separated from for a while, but still lived with them because it was just easier at the time. We were in a similar situation, and both of our exes were toxic and crazy. He would tell me how he couldn't wait to save me from the hell I was in, and I would tell him I can't wait to run away together. He was different than all the guys I dated before. He was quiet, nicely groomed, kinda shy but still funny, had never really partied or done drugs. Didn't even smoke weed. People would tell me I was out of his league, but I thought and still think he is the most handsome man that I've ever laid eyes on. His personality really matched mine because I was wild and outgoing, but he was the complete opposite. Calm and shy. Anyway, I had no idea what was to come. I remember telling my mom in the beginning how I just knew he would never cheat on me like all my exes had. I also remember texting him while he was at the tattoo shop getting tatted by a cute tattoo artist that it was an amazing feeling to not have to worry about him flirting with her or getting her number like I know my exes would have done. I trusted him wholeheartedly to the point that if he told me he cheated, I don't think I would have believed him. Fast forward to after almost a year dating and moved in with each other. BF was at work and I was at home and needed to use his computer for something too difficult to use my phone for. I never would get on his computer or phone, so I guess he didn't feel like he had to hide anything. I pulled up Chrome, and there was a thing that came up that asked if I wanted to restore the recently closed tabs that were used. My curiosity got the best of me, so I clicked yes. One of the tabs was his Reddit account. At the time, I never used Reddit or really knew much about it, but knew it was a social site, so I started exploring. I looked at his recent comments on different subreddits like car affairs, our random acts off sex, our blow bros, a bunch of other square meter meetup things. I don't remember what exactly his comments and posts were now, and I hardly knew my way around Reddit. But one thing I knew for sure is that it was his account because he uses the same username for other things, and that he was trying to meet up with men for sex. Now, I have nothing against LGBTQ+. Several members of my family are gay or trans, and I myself am bi, though wily more towards men. But we were in a monogamous relationship, and he made it very clear to me he's straight when we got together. I didn't know what to do or what to think, so I immediately texted him asking what that was about. I regret that decision to this day because 1 minute later I was locked out of his account and couldn't log back in. He texted back saying it had to have been his ex and she hacked his account and was doing that shit to try and ruin him or break us up, so he just deleted it. I for the most part had believed him because she had done crazy shitty stuff before to try and break us up. But I couldn't help to think why she would try to frame him and make me think that he was gay. Why wouldn't she just make a post on some affair thing, send a few messages back and forth, then screenshot it to send to me in hopes to break us up? But it looked like this stuff had been going on for a while. I chose to believe him because I still trusted him and knew he was straighter than an arrow. Fast forward several months. We had been kind of rocky. Just dealing with our crazy exes trying to come in and out of the picture, and us trying to heal and get used to not needing to have a fight or flight response when something goes slightly wrong. We had just gotten back from a vacation, and I thought things were good between us. It was nighttime, so we relaxed and wind down with a few drinks. He kept saying weird stuff like if you had a D times Kai would totally suck it. I thought he was joking, so I would laugh it off. Then, even though it was 1 a.m. and I thought we would be going to bed soon, he said he needed to go shower. Again, was like weird, but okay, I get it. You want to be clean, so whatever. But then he says he wants to run to the convenience store to get an air freshener for his car. It apparently couldn't wait, and I was too exhausted to go with. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. He left, and I sat there playing PUBG or something. And after a game, which is usually around 15 minutes, he still wasn't back, so I texted him to see if he could stop and get food. No answer. I call him. No answer. I call again. No answer. At this point I'm panicking, worried something happened to him. Then I remembered, we share our location with each other. So I look and see where he is, and he is behind a Walgreens parking lot, which is closed right now because it's 2 a.m., and I wait a few minutes to see if he moves. He doesn't. I'm in full absolute terror and panic, mixed with confusion, and grab my keys and race over there. I still shake to this day thinking about what happened next. I pull up behind Walgreens where there is a little area of forest, and I see my car parked to another car. Then I see him, and this random gross greasy dude walk out of the forest. Somehow, I knew something fucked up just happened. I asked what is going on. While the greasy gross man is trying to rush to his car, then I look at Maib's face. His lips look all wet and shiny, and then it hit me. How I didn't assault this man while I tried holding his card or open asking him who TF he is and what is he doing with my man. He ended up speeding off, not saying a damn word to me. And there I was left with my BF. He was trying to make all these excuses like he was a friend that he was just meeting with really quick to say hi. I told him I'm not stupid and I know he met for other reasons. He finally said, okay yes, but nothing happened. I remember the scream I let out. I felt it through my whole body. I still feel it. I got in the car and must have blacked out because I remember everything of this night, but I don't remember the drive home. Needless to say, I kicked him out that night. I was a fucking wreck. I don't understand how my body was able to produce as much tears as it did, but I feel like I cried for a week straight. I moved hundreds of miles away from everyone I knew, everything I known just to be with him, and now I was completely alone. After a while, I eventually gave him the chance to talk. I loved him. I love him. I needed to hear what happened and why. He told me he wasn't gay, but ever since he was sexually abused by his uncle when he was just a kid, he would have the moments where he felt like he needed to punish himself. He told me he's never felt like he deserves me and that he did it as a form of self-sabotage. I was also sexually abused as a kid and cutting was my form of self-sabotage. He begged for me back, saying he would never do it again, and we could find a way to get through this, and I could look through his phone whenever I want, and he would never go anywhere without me again. I somehow caved. I needed him. I needed his comfort. I still was in denial. Mind you, this was the only man in my life that I have ever wholeheartedly trusted. It was hard getting back to normal with him. The paranoia was real. I would check his phone all the time and literally obsess on trying to figure out if he lied to me and they actually did do something, or if he was going to do it again. On top of that, we would get into fights because he had this coworker that would text him all the time and I felt like she was obviously flirting. He would tell me they were just friends and I was being paranoid. Though, to be fair, he had told me she had a crush on him and tried kissing him one time before him and I got together. Fast forward some odd months later, and I found something on his phone that would suggest he was cheating on me again. I honestly don't even remember what it was and I'm probably mixing up different times I caught him. I don't even remember all the times I caught him now that there has been so many different incidents. Found out he was on Reddit again and was sending nudes on Snapchat. We got in huge argument and he left in the middle of a snow ice storm. He came back hours later and said he was going to drive down south and just keep going because he had nothing if he didn't have me, but he kept slipping and sliding, so he decided to just come back home. Come to find out later on, that wasn't the case. He drove to a random couple's house he met on Reddit to have a threesome. Again, supposedly they didn't do anything because he couldn't get hard. He said the dude went to suck his dick, but he didn't let him, So he just ended up sitting on their couch watching TV while the couple had sex. Super believable, right? Few months later, the day before Easter, he randomly said he was going to go get an Easter basket for my kid, which was odd because he rarely put in effort like that for my child. But part of me thought, okay, that's sweet, he is putting in more effort. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos. The other part of me was like, why he didn't go with me when I went earlier or ask me to pick something up for him. He left, and I seen he locked me out of the stupid monitoring app I had on his phone, and I lost it. I knew he was trying to meet up with someone. I started psycho calling him, and 15 minutes later he finally texted and said he was in the store. I told him I knew he was lying and what he was trying to do. When he got back, I told him I was done, we were done, and I was moving out. I didn't want to ruin my kid's Easter though, so I tried to act like everything was okay in front of my kid. This is when I found out my BF started using Double List to hook up. For those of you that don't know what Double List is, it's a site that you can hook up with local strangers. It's best known for men anonymous hookups. Every time he has cheated on me, it's the same routine. I cry and break down, then leave. He lets me leave, has his fun for a couple days, then fights for me, telling me that he is going to change and tells me he will get rid of his phone computer, will go to therapy, won't ever go anywhere without me again. He loves me and can't live without me. This time is going to be different. He feels disgusted with himself. I mean, just everything in the book. And my dumb and in love ass falls for it every time. I mean, the last 5 to 10 times or so, I changed from falling for it to me knowing it's all bullshit, but desperately wanting things to work and letting that small in denial part of me take over. The first like 5 to 7 times this happened, he always used the excuse it was because he didn't have his kids. Crazy ex had them and felt empty inside. But even after he got the kids back, it didn't make a single difference. Now let me make this very clear. I have always got on my knees or spread my legs for this man anytime he wants. I don't want to sound conceited, but I have a decent body, a cutish face, and literally have men hitting me up daily telling me how sexy I am and how they want a piece of me. So, I know it's not me. We have amazing sex, we get kinky, we try his fantasies. Shit, I've even gone as far as to put on a strap-on and peg him even though I rather sub. All just in hopes that I can be enough for him. But none of it is ever enough. I started catching on to the behaviors he would have when he would start to crave hooking up with someone else. I would know it was coming, obsess over it, and find out eventually. I started making fake accounts on Double List just to bait and catch him in the act. It's worked a few times. One time, around Christmas after we had gotten his kids, he replied to an ad I made. Another time after he had just gotten me back but was still on the hunt to cheat on me and replied to an ad I made. Another time for several months he would use his time at work to make ads, respond to them, and have these dudes meet him in the parking lot of his work. He even fucking stole a pair of my panties to take pictures in for these men. I've gone through all his emails after catching him and forcing him to give me the password. He says things to these men that I say to him. How fucked up is that? Another time when I was leaving because I was so unhappy and heartbroken getting treated like shit from him and couldn't take the constant fear that he was going to hurt me again. He immediately went and got a haircut, part of his cheating ritual, and started making plans to hook up while me and my kid packed my small shitty car and had to drive 300 miles away to my mom's. It's like he doesn't have the slightest bit of guilt or care when he gets in his moods to cheat. He takes me leaving as an opportunity to hoe around. I wish I could list all the times he's done this to me. Like the time when he said he was going to go to Taco Bell but left his phone and his wallet. I knew that shit was a ploy to cheat, and even though he denied it at first, he admitted it to me later. Or the time he came down to my mom's to try and fight for me back after I left because he cheated on me, but while he was waiting for me to text back, he tried hooking up with someone in my hometown, but apparently I texted him back just in time as he was pulling up to this guy's house, so he left. I didn't find out about a lot of these things until the last time he cheated on me, and I left. It broke his kid's heart because we are close, and they look up to me like I'm their mom. Even BF cried after seeing his kids cry when he told them I was leaving. Think that'd be a wake-up call? No. He kept trying to hook up with people after I left. This was the time he finally told me the truth about times I had known he was doing something but didn't have the proof, and he wouldn't admit it at the time. But all these times that he met with people for the specific purpose to get fucked, he supposedly never touched a single one of them. He said he would either chicken out, or the time his dick couldn't get hard, or the time I caught him before something happened. I just cannot believe he went through the whole effort every time to go behind my back and be sneaky, which has to be a lot of work seeing as I'm constantly on the lookout, risk losing me, meet up with these people, but never touch them, and never got touched by them. I also found out him and this co-worker of his that was always flirting with him did have a sexual relationship before I came around, but he won't admit it continued even though I know it did. Why else delete the texts between them? The thing is, it hasn't only been his serial cheating that's been an issue. It's been his lack of empathy, lack of affection, lack of personal accountability, lack of making me feel loved. But very time he loses me over some BS he did, and after he's had his fun, he turns into Prince fucking Charming. Turns into everything I love and need so badly. Then we end up trauma bonding. I fucking hate it. He will last 3 days maximum being this perfectly sweet and loving man to me, before he gets lazy and starts treating me like garbage again. Then I get defeated and take it like a bitch and don't do anything until the next time I find out he's cheated on me. Also, the paranoia is fucking real. I am constantly scared that he is going to do it again. If he isn't right by my side while I'm awake, I'm thinking he is doing something. It's miserable, consuming, and completely exhausting. He has broken me completely. I feel worthless. I feel powerless. I feel stupid, disposable, and insufficient. I wonder if it's so wrong with me that he is willing to throw me away for some gross, nasty, greasy stranger. I feel he only fights to keep me around because I make him feel loved. I am always showing my love to him. I take care of him when he doesn't feel good. I don't put him down for the things he does that disgusts me about him. I hold in my frustrations or things that are bothering me most of the time, because if I even merely say I wanted to talk to him about something, it turns into, oh great, what now? He never compliments me when I get all dolled up. He never gives me random acts of affection. He doesn't take care of me when I don't feel good. The list goes on. So why am I still here, you may ask? The answer is I don't know. Am I really that defeated that I can't just leave and not fall for his manipulation tactics to get me back? I know I deserve better than this. I don't know how I can still look at him and want nothing more than for him to just love me and hold me. But I can feel myself withering away. I'm completely losing myself. I'm drowning. Instead of him giving me a hand to pull me out, he just keeps pushing me down deeper and deeper, and gives me the slightest bit of air here and there just to keep me alive. Please subscribe, leave comments, rate videos, and click the bell not to miss my videos.